angry taxpayers, shall we say, who are protesting tax policies. They plan to march to the end of that street. You can barely make out the Capitol Dome there in kind of the upper left quadrant of your screen. Let's get right now to my political experts who are with me right now. I've got Republican strategist, MSNBC political analyst Joe Watkins here in studio, and in Washington, Democratic strategist Peter Fenn, who I'm going to call out right now because I've not seen you in so long. For all I knew, you were in that crowd down there. Like Peter Fenn, where you been?
Not me, Alex.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, I was in Ireland last week with my father, and I must say we were doing some speeches around Ireland, and I got quite choked up when you talked about your dad and then the 150-year-old woman that he's working with. That's incredible.
I start getting choked out too. I mean, I did. But well, thank you, and I'm really proud of him, as if it's not, obvious, and I'm sure you are of your dad. Let's go to taxes right now before we get to the issue of what happened with the ULI and all that in the Congress on Wednesday night. What you see right now in Washington, Peter, does this surprise you, the numbers of people? I mean, I think even our reporter there on the ground underestimated by saying tens of thousands. It's looking like 100,000 people there.
Well, they had a pretty good turnout on those tea parties, Alex, and when you have media outlets and leading personalities pushing this, you get a good crowd. I have to go, though, to Mark McKinnon, who is President Bush's media advisor, worked for John McCain, a strong Republican advisor, and he said, a lot of these folks, and he called them nutballs, and he said, I'll quote it because it was, right. He said they're right-wing nutballs. And he says it's bad for the Republican Party. These freaks fill the void and define the party. Now, that's from a Republican. And I'm not saying that this is all freaks on the street down there, but I think his concern is that what is driving this is the hardcore right wing of the party, people who are not mainstream people, and it's going to hurt the Republican Party in the end. I don't know that Joe agrees or not.
Yeah, I'm going to say, Joe, freaks and nutballs. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't. I think Mark McKinnon is a great guy. I don't particularly agree with that assessment. I think these are just American people. A lot of them may not be Republicans. They're just folks who want to make sure their voice is heard, and they've got a very strong opinion. They've got an opinion that obviously lots of Americans share with regards to taxes, and they're there to be heard. So this is their right as Americans to be heard, to say what they think, and to be heard. That's their right as Americans, and they're doing that. They're exercising that right.
Real quick,
I agree
Peter.
with that. I just say I totally agree with Joe on that. The right to protest is fine. I think where you get into trouble, and I think Joe would agree with this, is when it becomes uncivil. When you talk about Hitler as Obama. When you talk about Nazis. When you carry guns to rallies. These kinds of things are un-American. But the right to protest is definitely very American.